The creation of Last Out was really not intended. I spent about 23 years in the U.S. Army. I have zero experience with live theater before this project. I am a storyteller, I am a public speaker, and so several of my coaches were recommending to me that I should write a play just to kind of get out some of the emotional context of what I'd gone through as a Green Beret.
He kind of started writing it to be therapeutic. He had a lot of trouble with transition, and he found his voice again when he was able to write the story. Then he decided, you know what, I think I really want to actually perform this play. You could just tell and feel how much he loved it. And when he finished, I was like, you're really good at it. I mean, you're actually really, really good at it.
I mean, honestly, I thought it was gonna be like a midlife crisis because he started taking like acting classes and stuff, and I was like, what are you doing? Even though I was like, it's a stretch to do something like that, I kind of knew that he'd be able to be successful with it because of how hard he works.
Well, this play's about letting go. It comes alive in the story of one Green Beret sergeant named Danny Patton. He's a fictional character, but he's a composite character based off several team sergeants that I had in my life that didn't make it home. And, you know, Danny's killed in the very first scene, and I always say that right up front. And he wants to ascend to the warrior resting place of Valhalla and rest and just know peace for the first time in a very long time, but he's holding on to something that he can't let go of. When I thought about this play, one of the things that I wanted to make sure of was that we're going to have a lot of skepticism. First of all, the theater community is going to look at us and go, oh, look at the cute little veterans who want to do an after-school special. The other one that I worried about was the veteran community. There are a lot of movies out there about broken veterans, right? And those movies have their place, but it's almost become like that's our narrative now, that we're all broken. And I didn't want that either. And so I knew, you know what, we're going to have to be really good. So we started small, it was very organic. This team started to evolve that was veterans, wounded warriors, family members.
It was about July of last year. A friend of mine reached out to me and said, hey, there's this guy, he's a Green Beret, and he's looking for people to audition for a play. Didn't really take him seriously, and he sent me the link. I read through it, and I realized that I was reading part of my life that I lived.
Special forces operate hundreds of miles from nowhere, living in villages with no running water, speaking foreign languages surrounded by pissed off tribes. Does that sound fun?
If it lets me get after the enemy, I'll put up with anything, Sergeant.
And that was key to me because as a result of nonstop deployments, I lost my family. So yeah, it was a strong bond to a life lived.
Scott let me know one day that he had written this play and they were doing a reading if I wanted to come see it. And my first thought was, a play? Immediately where my mind's going is like when you're a little kid, you know, and you have like a school play and it's like somebody's dressed like a tree, you know, and it's like just goofy. Like, I don't want to go see a play, you know what I mean? But he was my friend and he asked me to do it, so I did it. And when I saw it, it was just so like emotional and powerful and true. It really blew my mind.
I feel very fortunate having been a part of this production. You know, I did 2 tours and my son was born while I was in Iraq, and when I came back from Afghanistan, my daughter didn't remember who I was because she was so young. I've been in a few productions now, but never anything like this. I'm actor number 4 on the billing, but I think that I have the best role. I play 11 characters in the show, so I kind of have the actor's dream role.
So because I'm the actor and the director, I literally have to change hats. It's been a cool challenge for me to be able to switch that so quickly. And one of my favorite things to say is, you know, when you're in combat, if you are vulnerable, you will be killed. On stage, if you're not vulnerable, you will be killed. They're literally going against their life training and allowing themselves not to act, not to perform, because I don't believe in that. I believe a true storyteller just unzips and shows all the things that we all have deep, deep down inside of us. So for me, the biggest gift is directing these men.
It's a shoestring budget. It's constantly hand to mouth as we go through this. Even after we got our cast together, no theater at that time would touch it. What we ended up doing was we rented the ballroom at the Marriott in Tampa. We rented our sound, we rented our lights, and we put the chairs in the room. And we put the word out, and over 300 people came. And we did the show, and it was this awesome standing ovation at the end, and we knew we had something special.
My dad's a Marine. I lost him earlier this year, and this message was really meaningful to me.
We didn't think we would go past the premiere. I mean, goodness, it's been almost a year now that we've been traveling with it, and we didn't see that coming. I'm amazed at the feedback that we're getting from the play. A lady told us in Albuquerque, "Thank you so much for explaining to me in 85 minutes what my brother's been trying to tell me for 5 years."
The Wall of Honor is a really cool evolution from the play. I got the idea when I was writing the script. We had a small multi-shelf kind of framed object in our house everywhere we lived. What it was is it contained a lot of the artifacts and trinkets that I would acquire when I was overseas, and I would bring them back to my 3 boys, Cody, Cooper, and Braden, and then we would put them on the wall, and I would tell them the stories about where I was, and it became a way for us to stay connected whenever I had to deploy. And so that became, a prop in the play. And then the cast members, we started putting drawings from their kids when they were deployed and little trinkets, and the wall started to grow. And then when we started traveling with the play, we had a Gold Star mom named Jenny. She said, "I'm coming to the play. I'd like to bring something from my son Jason's life. Would you be willing to put it on the wall?" And we thought, well, absolutely. So she came up early. We went to the wall. She told us Jason's story. We put it on the wall. It was a dog tag picture. We thanked her, and she said, "No, thank you, because for the first time in a very long time, I have a new memory of my son, and you gave us that." So that's what keeps us going.
I am a Army wife. My husband is now retired. The thing that's the hardest for me, and this is a very unique situation, is our youngest daughter, her name is Caden, which is also the character of the son in the show. It catches me in the chest every time, and it takes the air right out of my lungs when you see Danny Patton sitting there yelling for Caden. It brings me to my husband and being so grateful that he is here and that he's not in that position in real life going and yelling for our children. And I think sounds kind of silly, but it makes me so overwhelmed with gratitude that my husband did come out.
To me, it's been super rewarding, right? I've been on this thing since pretty much the beginning. And I think what's super important about it is, I know for me, but I think a lot of other veterans, you feel like your struggle is your own. Because I was diagnosed with post-traumatic stress myself. And for the most part, to me, it was just like feeling cut off and lonely, you know? That's what blew me away the most about the play is like, you know, oh my gosh, like so many aspects of this are my life. Like I'm not the only person, like everybody else is fighting the same fight.
Last Out came to me at a very, very dark time. My lifetime best friend passed away 2 years ago. My friends had never gone through that, so a lot of people didn't know how to help. And so I disconnected and I took a step back from art. But there's something different when you meet someone else who's gone through dark times. I honestly, truly think that's what kind of bonded us all together, because you see that darkness in someone else and you know that they get it. And it's as cheesy as it sounds, is they're my family and they've been there for me, and I've been there for them. And it's just a whole new connection that I never truly thought that I would experience again in my life.
I think it's been really healing for a lot of people. I know personally, I've done a lot of personal growth since we started working on this thing, because I think it just feels cool to be behind something bigger than ourselves again. You know, like that whole loss of purpose, loss of brotherhood thing. It feels like we have that back now. We have people watching our backs again.
It is a family. It's a special group.
Last out on 3. 1, 2, 3.
You know, being able to perform the play here in Fort Bragg, North Carolina, it's as close to full circle as I've ever come in my life. You know, it all started for me here. I was literally a 28-year-old captain. I put a green beret on my head that I had carried around since I was 16. And then for the next 18 years of my life, I got to deploy and be with these amazing, amazing men, and be part of something really special. And then in retirement, you know, as my own oldest son prepares to go down a similar path, I have the opportunity to come back where it all started for me and get on a stage in the very building where I put that green beret on and tell the story of all those giants whose shoulders I stood on. It doesn't get any better than that. And whatever happens next is gravy after this.